Hello everyone, and welcome to this series of videos on some of the most virtuoso piano works published by Helle Verlag. Here we will talk about one of the toughest piano pieces in the whole repertoire, the colorful Islamey by Mili Balakirew. Balakirew was a great and cumbersome personality in 19th century Russia. He was himself an excellent pianist, and he relied heavily on improvisation when he composed, being able to count on a natural instinct for the musical form and a great harmonic sensitivity. In Islamey, Oriental Fantaisie, he stated that the first theme, a dance tune called Islamey, was played for him by a Circassian prince, while the second beautiful melodic theme was communicated to the composer by an Armenian actor in Moscow, who assured Balakirew on the Tatar's origin of the tune. Well, I think what is important when we play this piece is to enhance the contrast right between the dancing Islamey tune, that is indeed very rhythmic and joyful, and the melodic sections that bring us in exotic and sensual atmospheres. Now, when we look at the score, one of the first things that discourages pianists most of the time are the thirds, with which most of the melodies of the first Islamey tune are built up. But as we said, Balakirew was a very good pianist, so his writing is always very wise. We have just to find the right key to realize it. As you can see, in fact, he never wrote more than 3 consecutive thirds, alternating them with single notes. In a way that most of the time the thumb will be under on the white keys and the longer fingers, like the second and the fourth, will be on the black keys. So just choose a comfortable fingerings, that will be very easy, and follow the dynamics. Because although it is not always notated by the composer, a certain dynamical movement is always present. At the very beginning, this could be concentrated on the accentuated note in the left hand, for instance. From bar 13, instead, it is notated on the score. So in both cases, if you start the phrases not so loud and then make a crescendo and then a diminuendo, your arms will never get stiff. In any case, when you are facing with a difficult piece with a lot of notes, keep in mind that most of the time, especially if the writing suggests an orchestral sound in some way, not everything on the score should be played at the same intensity. It's not necessary to play here, for instance, in bar 26 and 27, all the notes articulated in the both ends. Ask yourself what is important to hear, because we love to hear rich sound, but too much information maybe is useless. So keep your left hand slightly lighter. Now, another passage you may find difficult is in bar 77 and 81. Here you have to play fast octaves and chords, and you are coming from a passage in the bars before with a completely different kind of technique. To overcome this passage, we have to understand its writing first. So let's see where Balakirew used chords and where simple octaves, and then you will understand how natural the movement is. Chords, chords, octaves, octaves, and chords. Let's notice that when you have simple octaves, of course, your hands are less stressed. And I suggest to imagine a link between the chords, using your fourth, your fifth of course, but even your third fingers to make a legato, a kind of legato between the chords. Like that. Then think that the writing itself is very rich, so you don't need to waste your energy pressing too much and playing in fortissimo. Stay almost light with your hand. You need to be very free when you play this passage, unloading the weight of your arm just on the accents written on the score. It has to sound brilliant and clear and not heavy, of course. The last kind of writing we should consider in this piece is the one with the alternating chords, appearing in bar 17 and later on in the final presto in bar 282. In this latter case especially, it is not necessary to play both double chords in forte with each hand. Just fall with your arms on the first chord so that the second will be played almost rebounding over the keys, on the escapement action if it's possible. Once you play the first two chords with your right hand, relax it and don't keep it hard and stiff over the keys. Then play the other hand in the same way and so on. And not with this kind of movement that is bad for the music, of course, and for your hands as well. Well, I hope this will be useful for you to start practicing the piece. And keep in mind what Busoni said. Most of the difficult passages in the piano repertoire can be overcome by considering their dynamics. By following this advice, your work with this piece will be much easier and rewarding. Thank you for watching and stay tuned on endless social media channels.